Welcome, welcome back, FOS. It is good to be back. A short break, but we have returned, and it is once again me found and Civilock here to bring you coin flip gaming versus Frex Regalis.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one, Found. I got some homies on both of these teams, friends on both sides of the aisle. They're here to do battle for us on
Did you really
Summer's
just say
Rift.
both sides of the aisle?
I'm
Oh
sorry,
God,
it was the first. It was on top of my head.
they don't. They do not know the subtext of that, and we're going to prevent anyone from mentioning it until later. If you guys want to know, get some interaction in chat, and we will definitely tell you what he's meaning. But
Yeah, we're gonna drop some sick leaks. But anyway, we got Coin Flip Gaming on the blue side, Rex Regalis on the red side. I'm super excited for this draft because I know a lot of these players. For example, I can tell you that this Amumu ban is a target ban against Build a Pony. He's been spamming that champion support, thinks it's super good, and I happen to agree with him. I think Amumu support's super strong with the Q charges right now.
uh, I'm obligated by the state to tell you that I don't agree with that, but I would love to see it because I'm a big fan of this
Sounds
specialty.
what would it take to convince you on the power of Amumu support, fans?
So Jesus could come down, touch my hand, look me dead in the eyes, and say, "Found Amumu support is where it's at. You need to play that." And I would look Jesus in the eye, and I'd be like, "I ain't playing Amumu support."
All right. Speaking of our Lord Savior Jesus Christ, Amumu himself died and rose from the grave as a mummy. Well, he basically is Jesus. He's depression Jesus.
Oh my God!
Anyway, we have Tristana Watson from CFG. It's going to be a match already talked by Leona Ash, and it's going to be the Tristana jump, and we'll see if Sadist has the know-how to get out of the CC buffer from Leona and Ash. If you time it right with the jump, you can actually hop during the CC. If you're CC'd during the dash, I believe, is that how it works?
Yes, if you're CC'd during there's a portion of the Tristana jump where she is still on the ground, but she is starting to lift up. That is the portion where she cannot be disrupted from CC. She can only be disrupted when she is in the air and she's starting to travel. So really weird interaction, but that is how it works. That's why Thresh Flay will sometimes disrupt it and sometimes not, depending on the timing. But yeah, Sadist has been an extremely good AD carry, one of the best in the league. Honestly, I've been really impressed with how he performed, even in some of the losing efforts. So I do believe that he will be someone who can effectively get himself out of these sticky situations, but you should still definitely run cleanse this game because Ash Leona kind of warrants it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you can jump out of Leon Ultimate and get immediately Ash arrowed on the back end, so you definitely want to take cleanse. It's going to be another Nautilus versus Leona matchup again, it's just like the professional metagame where we're practically pros. Gonna watch Nautilus versus Leona every game. Whoa, is that a Nidalee hover? No way. Are we gonna see Rafa's signature Nidalee? No. God damn it,
Unfortunately, the angry cat lady shall not be coming out, but the dirty Trundle is here, and that is the counter pick to Olaf. This is something that we see very typically. For those of you who don't know, Olaf's ultimate does remove some of his armor and magic resist, takes away some resistances, and Trundle can easily put him into the negative when you are him. So Olaf becomes a wet paper blanket, and the Viking goes down extremely fast. So I do like that pick, and I also hate Riot for allowing Trundle to be good again. But no matter what happens, I do think Rex Regalis has drafted very intelligently so far, and CoinFlip has done a very good job answering some of the picks that they've already seen.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, like the back and forth of the draft. CFG really values Tristana, I think understandably, because Sadist has shown really strong performance on it. They have Ash Leona to try and punish Tristana in lane. That's matched by the Olaf to negate the CC from Leona and Ash. And then we have the Trundle declaring that, sure, Olaf can be CC immune, but the best CC is death. And also walls. Walls are also really good CC. And then now I feel like we're pretty even here. Would you give one of these sides an advantage, Found, or?
As a bot lane player as of 8 years, this lane, if both Alkbatter and Why Doctor of equal skill to Sadis and Bill Nopani, this is not playable for Tristana and Nautilus. Leona's tankier than Nautilus, has more CC. Tristana, if you ever dash in onto the Ash, Leona will rip you a new one. So this is not very pleasant as it comes to bot lane 2v2s. So I really am interested to see how Sadis and Build Opponent are going to navigate a somewhat difficult matches. And thank God, Jace is one of the most busted champions into the game, and he is finally appearing in FOF with Joshi taking him into the top lane.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident this is going to be Joshi's Jace. I don't think it's in Zenzen's champion pool, so I expect to see it there. Mordekaiser being hovered, that's a really interesting response to Jace, and I guess the theory is that Mordekaiser can force Jace to play melee range, deny like the range poke, but that doesn't seem like a terrible matchup for Jace off the top of my head.
Oh no, it's absolutely not. The E from Mordekaiser is basically unhittable onto Jace if he's playing well. And plus, if Joshi is having a very good game, plays his ranges very well, Mordekaiser can almost never farm because he's still a melee champion in the early game, and Jace does very well into those champions he outranges and consistently can poke down. So
we'll see if Pole Vaulter is able to pressure Joshi, or if Joshi can just get that free range harass for the laning phase. It's going to be Victor locked in for Fake Archer. Fake Archer showing a lot of strong performances on those long-range control mages. They get a second damage threat, so I think that's really in line with the CFG game plan that we've seen from them so far. Meanwhile, it's going to be Orianna locked in from Rex Regalis. Man, you can tell Rex Regalis has Academy casters on it, because this looks like some kind of professional draft. Look at this.
Yeah, this is what they do. I honestly love casting these guys because I know that they have input later on. We need to have like an interview with these guys, but yeah, their drafts are the most boring snooze fest that you will have. But they also drafted Jace, so I'm now a fan of. Let me make sure. I know their top lane is very specific of how we pronounce his name. Give me, how do you pronounce it? Joshi.
Yes.
So, Mr. Joshi, I like what you've done so far.
Joshi rhymes with Broshi.
Prize with Broshi, you picked up the Jace, but frankly, there's nothing more that you guys need to hear from us because the game is about to start, and let's make Joshi proud and cast a fantastic game where he's gonna pop off on this Jace.
All right, we're ready for it. We're here for it, and here we go. We're loading onto the Rift. We have CFG on the blue side, Rex Regalis on the red side. And we're going to have to see what happens level 1. A stack from CFG on the bottom side of the map. Build a Pony leading the charge. Meanwhile, Rex also counter-stacking in mid lane. Uh-oh.
Oh, this is what we like. This is fantastic. My voice is ready. And here's the face check. Fake Archer is going to be the first one to spot him, but they're just going to walk away because they're going to back out like softies. But unfortunately, the 5v5 brawl is not going to occur, to my ever-ending dismay. But nice even early game, no kills traded over, and some ward vision has gotten on the side of CFG.
And Rex doesn't know about this ward. That's the big thing, right? Because CFG knows that Rex committed the red buff for. Rex does not know where CFG's ward is. So that is potentially actually a big advantage for CFG if they use that jungle tracking appropriately. If you can fake as a laner, like you pretend that you don't know the jungler's there, but you actually are prepping a counter gank the whole time, like that's a potentially insane advantage.
Yeah, and since we're talking about jungle, an interesting trivia question. In on this patch right now, who do you think is the fastest clearing jungler?
Fastest clearing jungle. Let's see. So what happened this patch? Zed got jungle damage once the front's passive. Talon got some damage.
Oh man, you already got the answer.
I suspect Zed's pretty fast.
Yeah, the answer is that he finishes at 308, but here comes the 2v2 coming in. That's going to be Build Opponent getting knocked up, and Alk Battery is going to be forced to flash. Ash is going to take a bunch of damage in this early laning phase. This is going to allow Sadis and Build Opponent getting a good side of lane pressure, but the CS is going to drop
the melee experience.
Yeah, so no experience gotten, so they will not hit level 2 on that second wave. And this is kind of the lane state that you want to have happen, because the poke is going to come in hot and heavy once Ashe does get into that wave. It can utilize her range advantage on Tristana.
Yeah, we were just talking about how this is really Ashley on a favored matchup, but that level 1 really turns the entire tempo of the matchup around. Tristana now has threat to jump in. Nautilus can threaten. They have the experience advantage. It's going to be a while before Alk Battery can set up a wave where he can get meaningful poke again.
Yeah, they're just gonna have to play to neutralize. But if you see the lane
Yeah.
state that has been created right now, this is gonna be frozen in front of their tower for quite a long bit. This is 4 minions right here, so it's gonna have a slow push. But this is the lane state that they do want in a lane where they're trying to catch up. So very well done on the side of Alk Battery and why Doctor getting the lane into a decent state. And unfortunate, as Polvelter is not going to be dying here, he's just going to take a bit of damage, but nothing further. As woo. Joshi's gonna
A little
have
too
that
fast
shock
with his
blast air
fingers.
to Africa and come back around. So, welcome to some Jace gameplay.
Yeah, I could tell what he was going for. He's trying to get his sick combo in, but I think he could have just lined that one up, honestly, with the wall and did fine. Has the wave crashing in, though. Pole Vaulter is only 7 CS. Really needs to get this
Oh,
wave
he's
under
gonna get
tower, but
dashed in.
ooh, oh, Rafa top grab.
Oh, and here's some to fight. Smite is going to be available, but you need to be careful. Trundle does a lot of damage early, but the Conqueror has been propped onto
He's
Rafa,
there
and
first.
now Olaf is going to be forced to
Or
walk away.
Zenza.
Here comes the sun. Who's going to be dying first? Olaf is going to pick up first, but Rafa is going to be forced to flash away. So it's going to be Joshi, who's the one who's Joshi. Jesus, his name is hard to pronounce.
Joshi.
Joshi, like Broshi, is going to be the first one to drop.
Joshi attempts to join his brothers in arms at the crab as his lord and savior Rafa commands. Unfortunately, it doesn't go their way in terms of the skirmish, but in order for Mordekaiser to counter that, sacrificing a huge wave. So honestly, I think Joshi is pretty happy with that in terms of his own lane state. However, Olaf getting first blood, not something you really want to happen if you can help it.
Absolutely. Rafa committing his own version of sacrilege, allowing Olaf to get that kill, as commanding Joshi to sacrifice himself. But here
Oh,
comes the hook. That's going to be Alk Battery taking a bunch of damage.
the
The dash
jump!
is going to be coming, but from why Doctor is not going to be landing. But you see the struggle as Build a Pony gets stunned up and takes a bunch of return damage from this Ash. If that E had landed, that could easily have been Sadis's life. So he needs to be a lot more concerned
Another
as
one!
another hook is going to be landing and a bunch of damage. Exhaustus is burned. The damage onto Build a Pony is here. The shield is available, and the Knights have gone through. And now the chase is on. Rafa is going to be there.
Rafa.
The pillar is going to come up in just a second. He's going to be in range, and the flash is already out. So Build a Pony is going to drop as a 2v2 kill. Is going to be picked up by Alk Battery while Doctor. And you see how this lane can be quite the struggle. As Trundle did not even get an assist to show his face for some healthy bonus points.
Can't believe Alk Battery and Doctor win that one. I mean, it looks so good for Sadis and Build a Pony. He gets an insane lollipop hook twice in a row, and somehow Alk Battery lives both times. I mean, I'm convinced on your matchup assessment here, Fan, because that I just don't know what Sadis and Build a Pony can do better.
Yeah, even when the hooks are landing onto the Ash, frankly, until Tristana's level 6 and can threaten an all-in kill pressure onto the Ash, there's not a lot of damage that comes in. Plus, Sadis was forced to run the cleanse, so no heal in the lane, so it's not getting any easier in that matchup. And once you see how when both the Ash and Leona hit 6 and how they can just level 6 hit Ash Arrow onto Nautilus or Tristana and burst them from 100 HP, you'll see how bad this lane can be.
Yeah, looks like Alk Battery's finally learned his lesson. Gonna hang out behind those caster minions and just wait patiently. The wave's coming in because it's Tristana. There's no way Sadis can freeze here. Well, in mid, it's kind of just been peaceful farming. Zenzen having a slight lead here. Hasn't recalled yet, but
Doing the job
Maxroni.
hitting those minions, but he's going to be forced to flash out. The Olaf is not going to land the axe, and Zenzen is going to get away. But yeah, the wave is already at the tower, so a cheater recall was available for Zenzen. Overstayed and got ganked. Unfortunate, but no harm, no foul, unless a return gank is what comes through.
Ooh, take a look at it. Oh, hold the
Oh
thought. Pole
no,
Vaulter.
Volter is going to get knocked back, and then Rafa is here. This is going to be the chase as Joshi is getting a bunch of damage onto Polvelter. He's going to use the shockwave to get away, as now he is going to pick it up, and that's going to be the Mordekaiser getting straight into the ground as the Jace gets his first kill of the game.
Yeah, Joshi proving that he is the true master of metal. How can you play a metal character against an engineer? You know, engineers have mastery over technology. I don't know where I'm going with this anymore. They get the kill onto Pole Vaulter, and Joshi crashes away. Very happy with that one, but it's going to be cross-mapped with the dragon on the other side. So CFG going blow for blow, not going to let their top laner die for free. They are taking everything on the bottom side of the map. Teleport
Oh,
into the mid
there we
lane.
go. Teleport coming in for Joshi. He is just here just to pressure off the gank that was onto Zenzen. But you see he has already opened up a 20 CS lead onto this Mordekaiser. He's making Alfari proud as as we would say. Frankly, this is the type of Jace performances that we would like to see. I'm happy that Jace is coming in, and you see how unpleasant this is for the Mordecai to attempt to trade with him.
Yeah. Oh,
As
fake
Fake
Archer.
Archer is going to find his way into the death chamber, just getting CC'd and obliterated. As we already know what's happened, but we will watch it back anyway.
Yeah, it looks like it's just a double gang. Archer knows they're there. Oh,
Yep,
but gets
shockwave,
clipped.
E-land,
Shockwave.
and goodbye.
Yeah, once that shockwave hits, it's pretty much done. Really great discipline there by Zenzen, not casting shockwave early, really waiting for that optimal time so you can get the displacement and maximum effect. And now that we're looking back at top lane, this is just really brutal for Mordekaiser. Jace really needs to get ahead in order to justify the pick, but now that Joshi is ahead, the shock blasts are not going to stop for Pole Vaulter, and unless Pole Vaulter
And
gets enough
Hills builds
stats,
a
oh
pony,
no.
getting face checking, and he is not going to make it. Goodbye, Nautilus. Go straight to the grave for your sins, as Rafa is going to pick it up. And now this is just going to be a free Rift Herald, which is, I don't even know why you're going to attempt to walk in the side of the jungle. The top side is just being ridiculous so far.
Yeah, I think CFG was not in a terrible position, but I think they don't recognize the cross map that they're playing, and they play really poorly around Rafa being the strong side on the top side. They get the dragon already on the bottom side. You need nothing to happen top side. You're just trying to neutralize. You don't need anything to happen. Just ward defensively and farm under your tower, but they try to play to their weak side of the map after they know Rex has full vision control of the area, and they get snuffed out because of it.
Yeah, frankly, we have to give Raspergalas credit. They have been the best team in the league so far, performing extremely well. Well, I don't know. We're going to leave Yubi out of it, but for the rest of the teams, they've been fantastic. And frankly, this is something that we would like to see them demonstrating at least solid laning skill, being able to transition it into picks, punishing the enemy team for making obvious mistakes, and I frankly love their picks. So they have been such a fun team to watch, and I'm interested to see if they're going to be able to carry this over into another victory, because it is not all she wrote for coin flip. Only 2,000 gold in the bank that they're behind, and they do still have the legendary status in the bot lane farming up quite well. So this could be their avenue back into it when this next dragon arises in 2 minutes.
I have definitely seen Status work miracles before. This guy's gotten huge, especially playing alongside Build the Pony. There's kind of like two different versions of the coin flip gaming bottom lane, kind of as the name would suggest. When they're playing with Sonafine, they have kind of this more controlled team fighting front to back style. Whereas when they play with Build the Pony is super explosive, really looks to accelerate the lane. Can end up going badly, but oftentimes it can end up working really well. Unfortunately, this time they haven't really been able to convert Pole Vaulter in a dangerous position.
Yeah, he is just going straight to the death chamber, and he's going to all Joshi. So this is the 1v1. The flash is going to come in, a bunch of damage onto Bulwark, but he can't walk any further because he's going to be in tower range. The shield is there. The flash out's coming. The last Q doesn't land, and that was all that could have been done. And now Jace is going to not get the kill. Rafa is, but another kill picked up onto this Mordecai who's continuously being punished. And now they're pushing the lane topside with Rift Herald available. Up, and here we go. Sadis is going to take a bunch of damage. Hook's going to land. Nautilus is stunned. Build the Pony is going to be forced to walk away, but you cannot walk away from this damage and stun of this Ashe as Alpha Battery just chases them down. You hook in, you die, as that's going to be the kill getting picked up.
Yeah, it looks like Rafa and Joshi going to crash another wave yet again. Pole Vaulter is just sort of going to hung out to dry on a champion that can't really afford to survive on their own. Mordekaiser needs to fight, looks to scrap, get ahead. Once Mordekaiser are ahead, you can turn with the ultimate, as we saw in the last interaction. Joshi just playing keep away, the cowardly ranged top laner mechanics, and stands under his tower. So Pole Vaulter is kind of grim. Will need a lot of gold to become relevant again.
Yeah, absolutely. And frankly, I'm just going to continuously go on my escapades of please do not pick Nautilus into Leona. It is not fun the majority of the time. And then Ashe and Tristana is around that same avenue. So yeah, the punish is coming out, as you can see, even with the horrible start that they had early. Alk Battery and does have completely caught back up. And if Nautilus looks in, he dies every time, which is going to give a lot of pressure for Ashe in this lane.
I do say one saving grace the coin flip gaming has is that although they are behind in lane, Sadist is farming. Their economy is not just disrupted. Oh my god, Pole Vaulter not again.
That they had is no longer here, as the Mordekaiser is in the ground. So 4v5 onto this Drake 1-7 already. 3,000 gold in the bank. Whatever your saving grace you were about to mention, has it died yet, or is it coming back to life with Mordekaiser in 15 seconds?
Well, I was about to comment on the fact that Olaf has been keeping up his farm, but Unfortunately, there's not a lot of places for Olaf to play too. Maxaroni getting a huge CS advantage, but
Oh
Colonel
no,
has 3 kills.
there's the
Oh
arrow, the
no,
cleanse forced out
cleanse.
from Sadis. He is going to get the Q off, so that is nothing further. But as Rafa continues to beat down this Olaf, as you can see how soft and squishy that Olaf becomes when he's ulted by Trundle, as this is not getting any easier. This is starting to become pretty stompy. So we're
Yeah.
going to need to get some control as Joshi is going to pick up his first tower. It looks like he is going to collect that first tower gold in just a moment, which is a lot of gold onto this Jace who just picked up 2 kills from that by itself.
Joshi, I think, trying to deny as many minions as he can before that tower goes down. Uh, Interesting. Yomu's first on Jace. I actually like this a lot. Yomu's was reworked last patch. Not this patch, but like the patch before today. And instead of giving it kind of got changed to the old build path and the old stat profile. So now it gives cooldown reduction, which is a huge, powerful early purchase. And if you think of the kinds of mythic bonus stats that you get, it's actually okay to delay your mythic item. You want it eventually, but if you're getting it second, it's not like you're getting any of the scaling stats when you finish it first. So Yomu's gives you a ton of early powered lane, and you can still pick up the mythic later on to get those mythic passives.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, personally, I'm gonna have to go into the contrary. Let's see if Joshi's gonna die here. He's gonna take a bunch of damage into pole vaulter. The passive is gonna be proc. The knockback is already used, so now
Oh,
he's gonna be forced to dodge as many Qs as he can. He's gonna finally get out the death round, but the final Q
oh,
from pole vaulter is gonna smash him down as that's a solo kill picked up with pole vaulter with no traded damage. As now here's the flash in. Rafa is taking a bunch of damage, forced to flash out. Ultimate is used from the side of fake archer, so he is gonna have that wave clear available, but. Yeah, it kill traded over and a flash burn. So well done on the side of Coinfoot trying to get something back, even though they fell so far behind.
yeah, they're actually able to find some counterplay, even though Joshi's so far ahead, has the entire Yomu's completed, just is caught out being greedy, overextended, doesn't have Rafa there to bail him out, and Pole Vaulter just walks him down. Joshi won last time with the power of his turret, but away from the tower, Pole Vaulter walks him down, stat checks him, is a melee champion, and that's the end of Jace. Oh, here we
Oh
go.
god,
Out battery.
Sadis. Oh, he dashes, flashes, and still gets stunned. So goodbye, Sadis. You have died, and you might get
The
a trick kill
trade?
onto Rafa, but no, the
Oh,
healing is
no
too much,
way.
and he did everything he could, but he did not make it. But yeah, as I was saying about the build earlier, so the reason why you don't want to go Ghostblade first on Jace generally is because even though it does give you cooldown reduction, Eclipse is where your sustain comes from, so you do want that lifesteal and the shield that you get from Eclipse. And now you will be delayed in getting it, which also delays your Manamune transform. And these are 2 big items for Jace.
Right.
Jace really hits his power when he gets Manamune and his lethality item, so it kind of pushes your whole build back the Ghostblade gold, because even after that, you want to get Sorellas and other stuff before you would want the Ghostblade into your build. So yeah, it's a little rough. I
Yeah,
can see
yeah.
it. It might be more useful against a champion that's kited, that more is heavily kited than Mordekaiser. But once you're in the death realm, obviously when you get to the edge, there's no more you can run. So
Yeah,
uh,
that makes a ton of sense. I think the idea that Joshi's thinking here, because I'm sure it's on purpose, I think his mindset is that he wanted to group and have the CDR so that you can start poking more effectively on the siege. But yeah, it's definitely way worse than the 1v1 as we saw. I'm pretty sure Eclipse Jace maybe doesn't win, but I think lives with the shield and the healing. So yeah, it does get punished for that itemization choice. Pole Vaulter kind of finding a way back in this game. Uh-oh, Fake
as Fake
Archer.
Archer's gonna get caught out, taking a bunch of damage, stunned up for years, but is gonna finally get the flash out and survive. So he's gonna make it out by just the skin of his teeth. But really aggressive play on the side of why Doctor finding that Zenith Blade and using it to try to punish. As Rafa is gonna collect up, and once again a shock blast is gonna barely miss onto Sadis. That would have easily put them at a 30 HP before this dragon comes out.
Yeah, misses that one, but the beauty of this for Rex is that they can just stand here and fish forever. They have Shock Blast, they have Enchanted Crystal Arrow, they have Leon Ultimate, they have Ori Shockwave, they have Pillar, they have all these long range tools to start fights. Every single one of their characters can do it. And if they miss cooldown, they just wait for her to come back because unfortunately, CFG's not really in a position to hard force and engage yet, and they also don't have tools to match at range.
Yeah, actually, it's going
Mark.
for as now Rafa is going to get chased down a bit. Dragons in 20 seconds, but before that, Spawns, I want to give credit to my man Smackscast in the chat, one saying that he probably didn't have Eclipse Gold and just wanted an item spec. So generally, you don't get an inefficient item just to get an earlier item spike, especially when it's about a 300, 400 gold difference. That's only about 3.5 waves. So yeah, generally don't do that. It could be the answer, but it's kind of up in the air whether or not that was going to be the option that was going to be best suited to the game state he was in. But they are going to get this dragon collected up quite and easy. Nothing really can be contested at this point, and they are going to try to transition this down to the bot tower with the arrow
Oh,
coming
another
out,
one.
and it is barely going to miss onto fake archer.
And it looks a little bit silly, but honestly, these fishing attempts are kind of free for Rex. It costs them nothing, and there's just no way for Coinflip Gaming to retaliate right now. Coinflip Gaming needs to get that front to back team fight. They need to get Victor Tristana free hitting, and Rex just says, no, we'll just leave when you try to do that. We'll throw the pillar in front of you and make you suffer under your tower while we siege.
Yeah, absolutely. They need those two items to come in as fast as possible on their carries. Mainly Tristana, who's going to be the main damage threat. Victor does take quite a long time to scale, needs his items to really do damage, and without his mythic, he's not going to be prepared. And with Mordekaiser is not the best scaling at this point, as
Brody.
Joshi's going to be in trouble, forced to flash away. Did you call? Wait, Brody? Who's Brody?
Yeah, Max Maroney. We got Max Maroney here. He's got his axes. He's ready to rumble.
Oh, Max Verone. Oh, man, I
Yeah,
forgot
Max
about
Maroney,
him.
Max
Is this the
Maroney.
first time we've seen him in this game?
He's been busy. He has 110 farm to his name. Unfortunately, not really able to answer the pressure that Rafa's been exerting on the map, and kind of like an interesting stylistic difference. I see Max Maroney being a little bit more of the utility monster style jungler. You hit your camps, you full clear, get really strong. If you lose, just a lean diff. I don't know why we ran out of prio. But Rafa is definitely a different kind of jungler. Rafa is willing to skip camps, even to ruin his route to get into an unexpected position and totally grease somebody's lane. So, very different philosophies on jungling within the league.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the difference between having some aggression, the meta is kind of more suited into less farming, the catch-up XP being added back, and the ability to kind of farm less efficiently, but still be useful with the amount of utility that you can have. You fall less behind at levels, so if you just get those kills, you'll be fine. But here is going to be build opponent getting caught out just a little bit. And actually, I was going to mention earlier the dichotomy between these two support players. So when they have Sonafine, notice that their vision control from CFG is much better. Sonafine is a very utility heavy support player, so she does utilize her vision score very much in that avenue, but Pony has better
Yes, it
fingers
is.
generally, so yeah. And say this is almost dead getting hit by a shock blast. But yeah, I was just trying to give credit with what these two different supports are good at and what they can provide for CFG. So they're gonna need build opponent to use those fingers and provide some good picks onto either Zenzen or Alk Battery, because those are going to be the most vulnerable targets this game.
Yeah, interesting options there. Like getting those picks, getting those shutdowns is really important. Interesting itemization here from Rex Regalis. We'll see if it ends up rewarding them for it. They're buying QSS onto both of their shutdown carriers, and neither of them are going to be able to get locked down by Mordekaiser ult. I think that's a really cool idea, right? Because with QSS, it's like, sure, I'm paying QSS tax, but I can't get Mordekaiser ulted. And because I have the shutdown, I'm protecting the shutdown with this extra defensive item. It does mean that if they end up in a real front to back, that is 2,000 gold that Rex really just doesn't have real stats. So we'll
Here
see
you
if it ends up being
go.
great.
Though the opponent is going to be walking up. Why, Doctor is going to dodge the hook. That's going to force Alk Battery to force to flash out. But now Build opponent has gotten caught out. He's taking way too much damage. He's going to be the first one to die. Teleport is coming in, and this is a really disadvantageous position from Povelter, as now he has gotten Zenzen into the death realm. The dodges aren't coming through just yet, but that is going to be the solo kill onto Zenzen as he picks it up in the death realm. The chase is still on. Max Veroni is not going to be able. He actually will make it out. So a lot of damage taken. A minute and a half. A minute before Dragon spawns. This is going to exceed all of the pressure and ward control over to Rex, so they're going to be quite happy in that avenue. And fantastic picks and punishing Build the Pony for getting too aggressive in this mid lane.
Yeah, I think really just sort of a misread on the game state. I'll say this.
This is
Are you
being checked
okay?
down. Yep, there he is.
Okay, that's fine. I was afraid there for a moment because if Rafa has pillar to cancel a Sadist jump, then it's lights out for Tristan, or at least flash, but Sadist gets
Yeah.
out of that one. What I was going to say is that I think I think CFG kind of had a bad read there on the situation. Like, yeah, they want to fight, they want to team fight, but they're still waiting for Victor to scale. Rex was very happy just commit double TP and turn the fight, and Fake Archer was not. And I think Fake Archer was right. There was nowhere to TP to that would have finished in time, and still allowed Victor to get damage off. And Fake Archer just really wants to scale, really wants to hit 3 items, but his team really wants to accelerate. So there's a little bit of a clash here within the composition.
Absolutely. Build a Pony is struggling a bit to find these engages. It's really difficult in this type of game where you're not tanky enough to really go in and you have to hit a vulnerable telly. Once Alk Battery flashed out, he basically was dead 100%. So, oh, and here's the flash out from Max Marone. He's flashing in. Rafa does pick it up anyway, and that's going to be a dead Olaf. You see, he's too much damage as Joshi is going to getting a bunch of damage out, chasing down Fake Archer on the side. He's going to get knocked back and is going to be forced to flash out. The damage is still coming in for Pole Belter, and he's going to drop as Alk Battery does pick up the kill onto Build a Pony. The chase is still on Why You Know Doctor, who's going to get clubbed down by the Mordekaiser. Pole Belter is now getting kited out by Alk Battery. The damage is coming through as Alk Battery is unstoppable. Here comes the flashing for Rafa, who's trying to chase down Fake Archer. He is going to be getting away with Phase Rush being too OP, and that's going to keep Victor alive as he's the only one whose tail is going to be saved. But a bunch of kills going over to the side of Rex.
Yeah, again for CFG, it's just kind of a slight misread in the situation as disastrous consequences. They do want to fight, but the details matter. Even though they have a front-to-back teamfight comp, they're still waiting to scale, and the fight kind of devolves into this messy skirmish. We have a 2v1 on one side, a 3v4 on the other side, and that's just not the kind of fight that CFG wants. It has to be front-to-back. They need a situation where Victor and Tristana can free hit, and otherwise, Jason Trundle are just going to terrorize their composition.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, at this point, front to back is completely unplayable now. I don't think that Build a Pony
gone, yeah.
Yeah, we'll be able to live long enough. Plus, Max Throny, if he gets ulted by Trundle, just dies instantly. So it's gotten quite rough at where this game state is and what avenues they have to win. So now with Baron being pressured, Joshi being so strong, Joshi being so strong, it's going to be really difficult to find any angles in. This is a 2-item Jace with a fully stacked tier. As soon as he gets enough gold from enemy, that's going to instantly transform. And once that happens, oh yeah, these team fights are going to be pretty over.
We have Dragon spawning 3 minutes, but it looks like Rex is just content to throttle CFG here. They're playing a Discipline Siege. They're doing Discipline Wave Management. Not really going to give Mordekaiser an opportunity to get a pick. Pole Vaulter won't be able to collect any shutdowns. Fake Archer's not going to have time to scale. But that being said, one clean teamfight ace. There's a lot of shutdown gold waiting to be claimed, and that could be CFG's ticket back to the game. We'll have to keep a close eye on Build a Pony and on Pole Vaulter. If either of them get a critical and decisive pick, that could be the teamfight win that they need.
Yeah, and I like Alkberry fitting in a little bit of flame, a little bit of special spice with his bargain bin build in the backside on his 2 items. None of these items build into each other, so he's sitting on his Zeal, who's going to be into a Zeal item, but he also wants Rage Blade, so he got the knife, but he only wants knife in his pocket as he doesn't want the blade in his back just yet. So I like it.
Yeah, you gotta build that baby rage knife.
I mean, absolutely. Who says you can't shop at Dollar Tree? He's shopping his entire. He's doing his entire shopping list at Dollar Tree.
Yeah, he got his knife at Dollar Tree. His shoes from Daiso. Picked up QSS at Valley Village.
Oh yeah, he went to Top Town. He has a Louis Vuitton belt on. That's the shield belt right there.
It's the outfit clashes a little, but if it's functional, if it keeps you warm, keeps you away from Victor lasers, Mordekaiser Death Realms, if the kids can't send you the Shadow Realm, it's all good.
Yeah, absolutely. Ash would be proud. I'm sure she likes having options in her build path. As it looks like the pick is being looked for. Well, there's a minute before Mountain Soul is up, and this is probably going to either be the game-ending fight or the back-breaking
CFG
one.
playing for Baron. I actually like this a lot. They know that Rex has invested all their vision in the bomb side for Dragon Soul, so they're just like, hey, let's just show up to Baron before Dragon spawns. Come fight us here. We're happy. And
but they cleared a pink
I'm not sure if this is going to work.
Spotted.
Yeah, it looks like they know. I think it's their best possible play, so I kind of wish they committed to it. I think if they back off here, they're just slowly waiting for death.
Up in the
They
Ash
bait
Arrow is going to
out
come out, and
Twisted
Sadie
Arrow.
does get his rocket jump away. Good reaction time because he did just see it late. There's a pink ward in that bush, so he wouldn't have seen it until it was closer to his character model. So good on Sadis to get out there. But yeah, even with that cooldown used 30 seconds before Mountain Drake, and there's nothing
Rex
really
is
to look for.
throttling. Yeah, Rex is just happy to throttle the vision here. They're just camping bomb side jungle. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they're even happy trading Dragon for Baron just to get sold. They don't have to, and it would be sad if it happened, but even if that happened, it'd be okay. They're a little indecisive here. It looks like they don't know about this Baron yet.
Yeah, the pink ward just was cleared, so they do know it started, but they don't know how much damage is on it, and they've let CFG
Oh, they
get so
should
much
burn.
damage
They
onto it.
should
This
burn.
is
They should
3,000
burn.
gold. Rafa does have flash available. He is going to flash, get
Steal
into the pit,
attempt.
and the secure is going to go onto the Olaf. Now the fight is on. Fake Archer taking a bunch of damage, forced to flash out, and that is going to be Tristana using the R away to keep Rafa off their back, but now the back lane is doing their best onto Rafa, and Rafa's going to die, so the kills are coming through. CFG is going to turn this. Sadis has find everything.
Wait.
Zenzen is also going to pick it up, so that is a double kill for this Tristana, as that is a massive throw. The gold lead has instantly closed from almost 4,000 to back down to 1, and you have to watch how Fake Archer and Sadis played this fight.
Oh man, it's a knife edge 50-50. Rafa flashes into the pit looking for the smite steal, but it's not quite enough. Fake Archer placed in the center, and they have the speed shrine from the crab. So overall, it looks like CFG just has full position to fight. The gravity splits everyone up. And when Mark flashes in, oh, it's so close. It goes down to 100 HP. And this is exactly the fight that CFG wants. Everyone is hitting. Alec Battery has to dodge, has to escape from so many threats, flashes away from Olaf, but Pole Vaulter finds him again with the flash of their own, and Alec Battery just can't live. Meanwhile, Sadis on the other side, eating up all these squishy targets, and is able to collect a lot of shutdown gold. It's just a Tristana reset to finish off the fight.
Yeah, so much damage came out from Sadis that fight, picking up the Trundle on the back end, keeping Fake Archer alive, and it looks like Doctor is going to die on the side to the Victor. It's going to be close. Yes, there we go. So that's a full ace, and frankly, look at the gold. It's completely even. CFG is completely back into the game, and a fantastic Baron call, risking it all and getting some payout.
Yeah, I'm so happy that CFG committed to that because it's the only way they win, right? Like, honestly, it was probably an unfavorable situation, but if you're behind, you got to accept some risk, Like, it's better to go out with a bang than to just starve in your base. And they commit decisively in a big way. They get the Baron, they get the team fight win, and they deny Dragon Soul. This is actually just anyone's game now. It's late enough that it just takes one or two more clean fights from CFG. They've activated their comp. They have the Kraken Center Tristana. They can make this happen now. I think one thing that I mentioned earlier, right, the QSS buy, I think Rex actually fell into this awkward trap of over-indexing on QSS. I think QSS is an item either everyone needs to buy it so that Mordekaiser ult's useless, or just the most important person buys it, right? Because sure, you buy QSS on 3 people, now Zenzen's going to get Mordekaiser ulted, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely, and he's
you
going
wasted
for
3,000 gold.
Yeah, absolutely. The item slot efficiency is going to be right there. But Doctor is going to get stunned up, he's going to be forced to QSS out. So that's a cooldown used for his end, and he's not going to have that available if they do choose to fight. But yeah, as I was saying, it seems like the item builds really have negated a lot of the gold advantage. 1,300 gold wasted for Leona being QSS. Well, not really wasted, but not utilized for more offensive stats. The QSS sitting in Ash's inventories for 1,300 gold, so that's a lot of gold that wasn't put into more combat stats. As now Rafa's going to get caught out, he's going to be forced to QSS also. So everyone bought QSSs, and that's a big investment.
Yeah, it's a big investment, and the whole point I mentioned earlier was that QSS is probably good if it protects your shutdown. Those shutdowns are no longer in play. CFG has claimed all of that gold, and now I feel like these QSSs have lost a lot of value. Mordekaiser is not quite like, say, Malzahar, right? If you QSS Malzahar, Malzahar has nothing left, right? That's kind of his whole kit. Mordekaiser is still a giant meatball. He is still a bruiser without his ultimate. He's still going to walk in your team with his passive turned on. So the value of the QSS is a lot lower if you're not way far ahead. Victor's online now. 2 items. Tristana is 3 items. This is
Oh, that's going to be the arrow landing on Mac, but that's not going to be anything further as he does have his ultimate available. But it's interesting that Joshi has just gone back to base. He has picked up his Mirror Mana instant transform onto that, and so this Jace did receive his huge power spike. But yeah, as you can see how much control CFG has managed to get after that last fight, where they basically have complete control on this bot side river, and they can constantly look for picks. And it's going to be up to Rex to really get some control back after giving over so much gold to these carries.
And the problem is that Rex is really playing into this pick and siege style, and it's a good strategy, but it relies on you being ahead to leverage the force of your pick because you don't actually win fair fights. And now that fighting against Victor and Tristano, a competitive teamfight DPS, a lot of their tools are just not effective anymore.
Yeah, no, it's also important to note that Rex is fundamentally down in gold. I know it does look
Yes.
like they're 1,000 gold ahead, but the investments that they put onto some of these champions, you see Trundle hasn't completed his second item because he invested 1,300 gold to that QSS. Same for Leona, who hasn't gotten anything further on her second item also, and same for Ashe, who could have a BF sword in her inventory going towards a Infinity Edge, but doesn't because she also chose to make that investment. So Mordekaiser has gotten a lot of value just being into the game, forcing so many utility items to be built out.
And Mordekaiser shows up. He's metal. He's the tax man, and the taxes he does collect. If you take a look at QSS gold efficiency for any math nerds out there, oh, hold the thought, Rafa. Okay, we're good. We're good. Wait, can't talk about gold efficiency yet. Oh, Alk
Yeah.
Battery kind of in a dangerous situation. He's cut out, or is he baiting?
Yeah, that's gonna be Zen Zen's gonna be slowed though, so he's gonna be trouble. That's gonna be the R just used on to build a pony, and that's shockwave down. 50 seconds onto this dragon.
Huge.
As look at the poke though, that Joshi is finding a lot of poke into these corridors, and it's gonna be up to Jace to really zone out of this pit and make sure that they cannot get into this dragon. As Build a Pony's trying to get some more coverage, and he's walking in now. The face check is going to be necessary as he's going to take a bunch of
Oh
damage. Build a Pony is going
no!
to drop instantly. Nautilus is going to be dead. This is a 4v5 if it's going to be choose to be fought. This is Soul Point. Also, Alk Battery is returning with full HP.
Yeah, it looks
Oh no.
potentially
Say
like
this
an
accidentally
engage angle.
misclicked
Oh
the blast cone.
no!
Max Run is going to be forced to flash out, so he
Oh
has no way back into the
no!
pit. And oh, the 80 carry has trolled the jungler as Povelter is trying his best to zone off, but that Shockblade also did too much damage to Fake Archer, so he's going to be forced out of the fight.
So unfortunate. I think CFG sort of just cracking at the end here. Rex is too good at playing keep away, and I think it's really inflicting a lot of mental damage on CFG. They're trying to get the fight. They're
Oh,
going
here
for the
we
steal.
go.
Here we
That's
go.
going to be the flash onto the Maxarone is not going to be able to get it. Rafa does pick up the smite. Here comes the fight. Olaf's taking a bunch of damage. Maxarone's going to be the first one to drop to Joshi, and that's continued. Povelter's also going to fall to Zenzen, and with those kills gotten, that's going to be Baron given order and Mountain Soul collected. So Rex has gotten control back into the game and managed to use their poke and their zone control to prevent anyone from getting anywhere close to that dragon.
It looks scary for them, but they play their composition perfectly. They understand their win condition. They're going to turn their sights on Baron. CFG has an important decision to make here. Do they try to stop the Baron, or do they try and fight in their base against the Baron siege? This is super critical. Instead, they're opting to counter push in mid. Yeah,
There's no
wave,
choice.
so they can't take the tower. They're just gonna have to reset here.
Yeah, there's no choice. There's no way you can walk into into a 4v3 at this point with no jungler to steal. Honestly, Victor probably does enough point in this damage where he can maybe steal, but then you're burning your Victor burst onto Baron and you'll all instantly die after. So, yeah, I like the decision. Get mid shoved in, delay a little bit, allow yourself to get your battle lines drawn and see where you're going to put your last stand because this is a 34-minute Baron. This could easily be game if you don't manage to execute your wave clear properly.
Yeah, this Earth Soul is powerful, but if CFG, like, if there's a comp to beat Earth Soul here, right? It's Victor Tristan. They have the sustained damage to eat through the shields and eat through the resists, so they can still win. But I think they really need to get an unfair fight. It's going to be hard because in order to find the pick, they have to find it against Ashe, Volley, Keep Away. They have to find against Shock Blast, folks. So their window to fight for is super small. But there are windows out there. If Build a Pony or Pole Vaulter find that critical engage, like I keep saying, it's still their game to play.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think Earth Soul is the most powerful soul in the game, so this is the highest uphill battle you can in terms of soul. But here's
Here
the
we go.
flash when Zinz's going to get caught out. He's all by himself, knocked up, taking a bunch of damage, and dropped to fake archer.
Zenzen.
So just getting caught out in the mid lane, no reason to be there. Teleport is available though, so this push can still continue onto this bot side, but they're going to be forced to back off after these bases do come through. It looks like the Ash Arrow is going to be spotting them, so they are going to know that the bases are already there. And the 1v1 onto with Joshi onto Pole Velter is here. The QSS is also available. Macaron on the back line, getting it, trying to fight Joshi
Flash
by
fail.
himself. He's just going to
Oh
obliterate
no.
the and once again, CFG is going to find two big picks that completely snuff out this Baron.
Yoshi, with an uncharacteristic mistake, fails his flash over the wall, overestimating the distance, and Max Roni just laughs as he smashes him in melee range with his axes. And yeah, Rex got 2 towers with their Baron, but that's not really a Baron power play. They gave 2 critical kills on both their solo lane carries back over to CFG. CFG's got a chance to establish vision, and Elder Dragon's coming after 3 minutes. That can be anyone's game now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Joshi's was a shutdown, so more gold given over. The only one who's managed to maintain their gold is Alk Battery on this Ash, not giving up his second shutdown. That would really make this game difficult. But you have 3,000 gold. Baron is going to be timing out in just a moment, so not further. But it looks like they are going for one big push as the teleport from Joshi is here. Zenzen also is back
Okay.
already, so they are trying to get this one mid inhibitor down, but they're going into a quarter versus Victor, so they're going to need to be careful.
All right, I guess we're just going to 5v5 for the game here. But I think CFG needs to go now. They need to look soon. Oh, the inhib's just going to go down. They're going to give it up without a fight. I guess they're planning on playing for Elder Dragon instead. Honestly, I personally fight for the inhib here, but I can understand waiting for Elder Dragon instead.
Yeah, I absolutely respect the decision not to fight for inhib. You want to catch up as much gold as possible, allowing those super minions to funnel into you, continuing to get those pushes in. Plus, mid inhibitors is the easiest lane to defend the siege against. It's very easy to clear those super minions and still make sure you're there for Elder. So I do like the decision. Give it up. Allow your carriers to get more gold in their pocket because this Elder Drake fight is going to be what decides the game.
I think turning our attention to the itemization here, there's a couple interesting choices here. We see Zenzen picking up Morel Nomicon for that healing reduction. I guess it's from Mordekaiser and Olaf, and maybe someone needs to buy it, but I'm not sure if he needed to finish the entire Morello. Could potentially have had here. The other thing I want to take a look at is this GA purchase from Sadis. What do you think of that?
I think Sadis is trying to go as defensive as possible, especially since he has to match Ogbetter, who has also gone into that GA option. I personally think this is okay. If at this point into the game, Victor is going to be the highest DPS, that's going to need to be watched. So Sadis needs to stay safe and not die to the initial engage, and that's kind of the goal he's looking for. But here you see the pick is being set up, vision is there, and Macaron is going to be the first one who is going to be finding them, as that is Rafa taking a bit of damage from this Victor, but nothing further is going to be followed up, and they are here
CFG
first.
need to control the choke, though. They can't let Rafa just walk in like this.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't.
they
Oh
give
my
the
god.
position.
Yeah, they just give up the choke. That is the NA special if I've ever seen one. And now they're going to need to try to fight back from this volley poke and look for a clean engage onto a carry.
Meanwhile, the super minions in mid lane, CFG needs to act fast and they need to act decisively because if they stall this out any longer, super minions are just going to end down mid. They're looking here, but Rex just choosing to play keep away. They're threatening to end down bottom lane.
Yeah, 12 seconds. They're looking for the end. They could turn around at any time, and there is no knowledge on the side of Rex of CFG, so they do not know what's going to happen. They're running straight for the base. This is going to be it. The bases have come through, and everyone's back. This could easily be the end of the game if the Bear Nexus is not going to be able to be hit. Now,
Don't
Joshi
have
is the
Rafa.
furthest up, but there's no one else. Yes, there's no one else, as Rafa is soloing the Elder. Really smart call on the side of Rex, getting the pressure down, running to end the game, forcing bases, and now they're going to be the first one to this Eldritch pick and get completely priority over it. But Rafa is very slow. There is going to be a small chance CFG makes it out in time, but it looks like they're going to opt to just give it over and not fight for it.
With giving Elder Dragon, that's going to be CFG's final chance to climb back to the game, slipping away. Baron, they can stall out, but with Elder Dragon, Rex can actually just win fights now, which is what their composition normally struggles with. And I think it's just going to be both buffs. Rex going to collect Elder Dragon and Baron. They're going to walk into the open Nexus, and they should be able to close this one out unless I don't know, fake archer or some miracle worker here.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
intelligent series of plays from the side of Rex. This is macro done right, using the pressure of the inhibitor down, forcing the waves in, and making all of them base. This is an open nexus with an Elder Baron buff push. There's basically no way this game doesn't end. So
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of a downer because, always down to watch that Pacific Rim like robot beat him up, fight to the death and Elder Dragon, but I think Rex realizing correctly that the only way they can lose is some kind of weird Elder Dragon steal or some weird team fight. And they just decide, Joshi, the brains of the operation, he's like, let's just play chess instead. We're going to move here. You need to move back to defend, then we'll rotate over. We'll get the dragon, and there's no contest. There's no opportunity to coin flip. There's no opportunity to play the team fight. There's no opportunity to steal. They take their 95%, 100% foolproof win rate strategy.
yep, Ash, absolutely, and that is a little bit of CFG's fault for not properly pushing out their waves before they did look to contest. But look at all the damage. That's going to be the flash out from Build Opponent, who's taking a bunch of damage, and the Elder Dragon is going to be looking to execute him soon. But the Shockwave was flashed away from him, so Zenzen doesn't have that available. But the fight is still on, and now Joshi has flashed in for Build Opponent, who's not going to live with the Nexus, is going to instantly die, and that is the game. As Rex Regalis has once again picked up their win, going 6-1 so far, being a sloppy game in this thing, but they get the win anyway, and I'm sure they're happy about that.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny game, and I think it really speaks to the Rex playstyle. Like, they honestly had some sloppy execution in terms of micro and in terms of skirmishes. But as soon as the game reaches that late game, they don't care that they have a scaling disadvantage. They don't care that Jace is falling off. They don't care that Victor is scaling. They're just so confident in their late game macro and their ability to just move around the map and be at the right places that, they overcome that. They stabilize after a potentially critical throw, and they make this win look pretty good at the end after all that's said and done.
Absolutely, and Joshi coming out being the big carry, 26,000 damage, outdoing everybody else in the game. And frankly, this was a fantastic day of matches. Every game was enjoyable. There were some close ones. There was a game where we almost had a team who everyone's rooting for. I'm gonna leave them nameless, but we want them to collect up their first win. Couldn't quite get it, but they almost made it. So frankly, this was a fantastic day of games, and we're not done just yet. There's going to be an interview with our winning member of Rex Regalis in just a moment. That is it from me, Found, Civiloc, and Civiloc. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and stick around for that interview.
Hello, friends. Chris Edgeworth here. Man, mumbling my own name. Chris Edgeworth here for our final interview of the day. I am joined by Rex Regalis' Alk Battery from the bot lane. How are you feeling after the big win?
Honestly, I'm feeling good. It's been another couple days, and I didn't get to play last week because of a power outage and because of the forfeit. So, I felt kind of like a return to FOF. I needed to replicate game one where I oopsie the level one for our team. So, it works. It works.
You were cheated. They're conspiring against the full power of Rex Regalis, but we get to see it back in order. And let's talk a little bit about what you're bringing into this game. So the matchup for you did have the Ashe in this one with Leona with you against the Tristana Nautilus. It started looking really unlucky for Bill the Pony after a certain amount of time in that matchup, and then there was the interesting Joshi matchup against Mordekaiser. The Mordekaiser started really being kind of a nuisance. I know you guys all pay your taxes, so what were your thoughts on this draft, what you guys pulled out, what you're up against?
Yeah, so we had prepared for this knowing that Sadist is probably the best player on this team by a country mile, and I think first 15 to 20 minutes show that. I haven't been the strongest laner, the strongest player on my team for the most part, I think. A lot of credit goes to Mark or Rafa, who plays just an excellent game. And the bot lane was a little bit doomed. We wanted to prepare for when we see Olaf and we see this bot lane. Tristana and Nautilus have a lot of kill power versus us, and if the lane is in a really oopsie state, we're kind of like, well, I guess we're getting dived. And obviously with a Jace, we don't want any North American Jace play, but even with jungle attention, Joshua Joshi Howard, as the LJL representative, really needed to show that NA Jace is still alive and well and kicking in FOF. That was, we knew that we got outscaled, but we also knew that we are just the better team for the most part, either hands-wise or brain-wise. And I think it showed today, which we can talk about it a little bit later, but CFG, like, I don't know what happened after 25 minutes, even after the Baron throw. I don't know who was calling it on their team. Maybe it was their, like, guys, we scale, don't worry. They, like, there's, like, one play where they give us the mid inhibitor turret, and all of us in call, and I'm sure you can ask the refs, they were like, what are they doing? Did they just, like, AFK?
Yeah, I think that the main thing that I've been noticing from your games is, like, yeah, we can talk about the hand diff, but it's definitely a brain diff a lot of the time. You guys are exceptional about playing around the map, playing around your tempo, realizing, like, the final play was just exactly like, oh, what are these guys gonna do? It was like the worst case scenario for them, where the pushing in super minions, you guys are just like, we're gonna do this exact thing to you and you're gonna have to watch, and it was executed perfectly. So it's just, a lot of it does come down to this brain difference, I feel like. Although I now have to ask about speaking of oopsies, you coin flipped the coin flippers there a little bit. Talk to us a little bit about this mid-game stumble for you, how you guys are able to play around that and restabilize.
So we saw them start Baron, and we knew that they were probably going to make the trade. In hindsight, we probably just wanted Mountain Drake and Mountain Soul just to call it a day. Say, hey, we have the Baron, you guys have the Baron, and even with Baron, by the way, I just want it to be known that even though we griefed and I called for the fight, so I'll take responsibility for it. I knew that I didn't have ultimate, and it was a pretty split fight, the way that we want to play with Jace and Ashe kind of laying down poke and then come in, clean up the fight. We griefed it, but if you actually look at the Baron play afterwards, CFG don't get anything for that. They reset. They don't get I don't recall them getting a turret in all of that. They just ping-ponged waves, and I don't know what happened to CFG after they got Baron, but it felt like they just kind of like rolled over and died. And you can see it in the end of the game. Like, even the casters were talking, like, not necessarily focusing on it, but like, they didn't ever fight. And it's supposed to be that, like, you have a Nautilus, you have an Olaf, just go in. And you have a front line with Mordekaiser who can disable. Obviously, we all have QSSs, but besides the point, where was CFG this game? They should have won this game. I'll even bet channel points that they should have won this game. But, like, it's pretty ridiculous. And that just shows that, I mean, even when we grief early games and we, stumble, coin flip it, whatever, teams still don't understand, like, how to play this game. And I don't know what to tell you, man. It's free. We take those. It's a free win. We're in first place for a reason.
As always, we do respect that you guys give out all the free tips. Every time someone from Rex comes on the desk, you're like, guys, we don't have to win. It's really fine if you guys
No.
want to win this game,
Yeah,
go
of
for it.
course.
But, you know, going forward, so you guys are one step ahead of the top cream of the pack, so to speak. You guys are at the 6-1 now. You do have a pack of teams behind you now at 5-2 in the trees, RLS and Terracotta Gaming. How are you feeling about these teams that are at your heels?
Sure. So we'll start from the top, just from record. In the trees, I want to play against them not only because they had a really weird substitute situation. I want to play against an INT who is at full strength. Obviously, they know that they were not at full strength. We know that. We still got the win, and I'm still pretty confident in that win that we would be able to replicate it even against a full strength INT. And Terracotta Gaming, I'm not afraid of these guys. Sorry to Ariri, but your support play is still somehow better than your jungle play, buddy. We're gonna have to work on that for the show. And RLS, we lost to them pretty early on into the season. I want to say that we kind of bungled draft, if I remember correctly. From that game, we have like a Zoe mid and Varus, and they just instant locked Volibear. So that game we played pretty bad, and I want to take them down so that Sharrigan can stop saying that maybe these two teams are the number one. And Rex, just give it to us, man. You don't have to hit up with the FOF copium. Just say Rex is the best. Move on.
Nah, man, we're strong abusers of the copium out here. It just can't be stopped.
I respect that. I respect.
You know, I'm an unabashed copium holic. So
Okay.
let's talk. Let's actually. Is there any final thoughts? You know, let's wrap it up for the evening. I want to give you the floor,
Yeah.
Elk Battery. Is there any thoughts that you didn't get a chance? Any banner? Any shoutouts that you'd like to discuss?
Sure, let's get the banner out of the way. Sharrigan, I watched the lounge today. Mad disrespectful that you don't think that we're a better team than INT and RLS. I'll give you the one for INT because Bo Explode was crying in trash talk about whatever situation going on in the team. This guy main Thresh and still got bodied. I don't know what to tell you about that one. And RLS, you were a better team on the day. I grief level 1. It happens, and I still won this game. So next time we face against RLS, I'm looking forward to beating them and really just claiming the first spot. And again, stop doubting Rex, guys. I know it looks a little bit suspect, but there's a reason why we're first, not only in power rankings, but actually in the standings. Keep it that way. Talking about shoutouts, obviously, thank you, Chris, for having me. I want to shout out Mark for this amazing win. He did a really good job today. Josh, I don't know what you're doing. Every game, if everybody wants to play a game at home when you watch Rex games, Josh always has one terrible flash into a wall every game. If you can point it out, you get extra brownie points with us. And I want to shout out Smacks, one of our coaches. He was here today. He finally watched our games, no longer like an abusive dad leaving us at home. And yeah, that's all I got. Thank you to my team, and GG's to the other teams that played today.
Finally, Smacks, the deadbeat dad, shows up to his kid's recital.
True, not wrong.
All right, man. Well, always fun to have you here. Thanks again, Elk Battery, and congratulations to Rex Regalis. Folks, that's going to be the end of the day for us, but we'll be back tomorrow, 4:30 Pacific Standard Time, with our second day of matches for the week for Helios. So, we'll see you then, and have a good night. Bye.